He's been under all-round fire, but until today, Pascal Mazurier refused to say a word. For the first time, the French diplomat accused of raping his 4-year-old daughter has broken his silence. He's speaking to Headlines Today. Currently out on bail, he's making some sensational counter-allegations, and if true, these might turn the investigation on its head. Mazurier claims that the real rapist might be a friend of his wife.
I'm innocent. I've been framed, and we really need to look into that, because I believe the law has been used for personal agenda by my wife and maybe some other people. If you just read the DNA report, it's clearly mentioned that somebody's sperm is there, and it's not mine. So we have to look into it, and I don't understand why my wife, who knows that fact since the 6th of July, when I was in jail, has done nothing about it. We need to protect my kids who are still exposed. What will happen? Who will be responsible if tomorrow we discover that my daughter has been again abused? It will be too late again.
According to Mazurier, since the stains on the swabs taken from the girl's body and his blood samples do not match, it proves there was another male who had access to his daughter in his absence. He has also questioned whether this third man's proximity to his wife is the reason why she is not trying to find out who the real offender was. Headlines Today also has in its possession 2 letters written by Mazurier to the Bangalore police demanding an investigation into his daughter's abuse. It is in these letters where he questions the premise of the probe and adds a fresh twist by hinting at the involvement of another man. But the latest revelations also raise several crucial questions. Is Pascal trying to deflect the police's attention? If the real culprit is still on the loose, why is the police not going after him? Was the case against Mazurier an act of vengeance due to marital discord? Why is the line of probe restricted to Pascal Mazurier? Why is it not looking further? Why hasn't the police probed the mother's role so far? Are certain facts being overlooked by the police? The lawyer of the French diplomat's wife, Suja Jones, on her part, has rubbished Mazurier's accusations.
I only tell you, the investigation is still pending and it is not yet complete. And it nothing but interference in the investigation. If he is interfering in the investigation, I only say that he is digging his own grave. He will face the music. He can't say whether he has committed offence or not. It is for the court to decide, not for him. It is that he is only now he is an accused in the court. He has to face the music, and the charge has to be framed by the court, and it is up to the court to decide.
I want to now go across live and exclusive to Bangalore. Joining us from there is French diplomat Pascal Mazurier. This is the first time Mr. Mazurier is breaking his silence. He's speaking to a national television channel. He's been through an ordeal, a nightmare over the last several months. Mr. Mazurier, welcome to Headlines Today. Over the last several months, all manner of allegations have been leveled against you. You're now out on bail. You've written a letter to the Bangalore police. You believe it is one of your wife's friends who was responsible for what happened to your daughter. You know, how is it that you're so sure that someone else known to your wife was actually responsible for what your daughter went through?
When I came out of jail, I got to read the charge sheet after it was translated from Kannada to English for me. And I realized that early July, the DNA test report was released, and we knew that the DNA found on my daughter was not mine. So I have a question. How come a mother who is supposed to be protecting the children is not trying to know whose sperm it is? Starting from that, I wonder, does she know the culprit? Is she trying to protect anyone? I don't know. What I know is that after leaving jail, it is my duty as a father to protect my children and make sure that the investigation is going on. You have to know that my children are traumatized by the fact that I disappeared suddenly on the 14th of July. I could not even say bye to them, and they don't even know if I'm still alive, where I am, nothing. This is a torture for me. This is a torture for them. This has to stop.
How difficult have the past few months been for you? Because, you know, the media has called you all sorts of names. There's been insinuation on the end of your wife, the Bangalore police, human rights activists jumping in. You know, you were described almost as a monster. How difficult have the last several months been for you, Mr. Mazurier?
The false allegations made against me are a torture. It's a torture every day. It's a torture even for the future. My name has been shattered. My reputation is in pieces. But most important, my kids need to be protected. And the 4 months in jail have been difficult, not so much because of the jail, where the conditions were acceptable. It was difficult because I could read all these incorrect things told to the press, all these incorrect things told to the police or to the courts. This was also a torture for me. I'm confident, being a man working for a government, that the government of India, the police of India, the judicial system of India will work well and know the truth and crack this case. I am absolutely confident, and it is not me who so far has interfered with the court of justice. It is not me who has put pressure on the police. It is not me who has made false allegations. So please, let the police investigate. Have faith in your institutions, and you will see. The truth will come out.
No, it's a deeply personal question, but it is very important given the charges that have been leveled against you. So you'd permit me to ask you this, sir. How would you describe your relationship with your wife? You know, you're saying that she's leveling these false allegations because there have been conflicted stories about the sort of relationship you enjoyed with Suja Jones. Why is it that you believe that your wife is leveling these false charges against you?
Okay, let me tell you first that this case is sub judice, and
yes.
I have too much respect for the court to say much about it. But I'll just say that, yes, there were marital discords, and I objected to some bad behaviors of my wife. But I don't want to go too deep into this because the police have to receive my information first. I have too much respect for the institutions. But be patient, create the conditions for an investigation to be run properly, and the truth will come out.
Because in the letter that you've written to Bangalore Police Commissioner Jyoti Prakash Mirji, you say that there was another male who had access to your daughter in your absence. So are you then suggesting that you suspect your wife of infidelity?
I cannot say that much. What I say is that I am very surprised that when she could have filed a complaint to find the real culprit, she did not do it. And this to me is suspect.
Who do you think, sir, is the real culprit?
Sir, it's not for me to say that. You know the rules, you know the law in India, so why say, I mean, you know perfectly that I'm myself a victim of false allegations, and you want me to say false allegations or wrong allegations against just someone just for the sake of passing on TV? No, no, please. Let the investigation go and be patient.
You know, usually in the case of diplomats, it is felt that because they have diplomatic immunity and they enjoy a certain diplomatic clout, action isn't often taken against them. Do you believe because you're a Frenchman in India that you've been singled out, that you've been set out as an example? Do you think that punishment or, you know, the action that's been taken against you has been more harsh because of your foreign origin?
The action taken against me by whom?
By the Bangalore police. The fact that it took so long for you to get bail, do you think because you're a Frenchman in India, things have been tougher for you?
Sir, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the case, but I have no complaint against the police in Bangalore. Why should I?
You have no complaint, you're saying, against the police. I also want to refer to the DNA reports because the DNA reports haven't really been made public. These are reports which are being quoted from, these are reports that are part of the investigation. Do you think it would also be better if the Bangalore police actually comes out and places in the public domain what the DNA reports are, because the stain of rape, which, the charge which was leveled against you, that would help you at least go with a clean conscience?
Sir, it's not for me to tell the police how they have to work. It's not working like that. If you want to ask the police some questions, do it. Go to them. But I'm not a spokesperson for the police, and I'm just telling you, create the conditions for a normal investigation, and things will go okay.
Do you have faith in the Indian judicial system? Do you have faith in the way the police have approached this case so far? Do you think justice will be served to you?
Yes, I have faith in the system, and the only people who are trying to interfere are the accusing party. I mean, I've been silent right from the beginning because I respect the system. So please consider that we have to let them do their work.
Are you intending to file a counter complaint against Suja Jones?
What for?
That she's leveled these false charges against her. So in the same manner in which your wife has gone to the police against you, are you intending to file a counter complaint against her?
No, my priority here is to protect 3 French children who are very far away from their country, from the abuse, the ongoing abuse, and the predator on the loose. This is my main goal. So your question maybe would be valid in few months, but for me, this is not the time. We need to protect these children very fast, very fast.
People close to your wife insinuate that you didn't have a very close relationship with your children. Would you like to tell our viewers about the bond that you had with your children, whether you were very close to them, because it is said that you were rather distant to them?
I'm extremely close to my 3 children. I spend as much time as I can with them, and believe me, they love me a lot. I love them a lot. They are traumatized because I left, and I took care a lot of them, a lot, believe me. Again, she has to make me look very bad to sustain her false allegations. So let us see.
I want to draw your attention to events of June the 13th, when Suja Jones alleges that she asked her maid to keep a watch on her husband, and when he came back home for lunch, the maid has said that he spent 2 hours with a 3-year-old girl in a locked room. And later Suja says she took her daughter to the Baptist hospital for examination, where it was found that there was attempted rape. What are your version of events, sir?
Do you want to do the trial on TV?
No, I'm just asking you a question, sir, so that our viewers know from your side what is it that actually happened, because so far they've only heard one side of the story.
You know the word sub judice?
Yes, absolutely.
So you know the limitations of my speaking today.
No, because this is a very grave charge that's been leveled against you, and all I'd like is for you to explain to your viewers whether or not the charges that have been leveled by your wife have any fact in them, because she's alleging that you were locked up in the room with the girl, and that later when she was examined, the girl was examined, there was a case of attempted rape.
Sir, I know all that, and it's for a judge to analyze that. Please consider this point. We have to respect the institutions here, okay? We cannot always blame the institutions whatsoever, the police and the justice, not to do their work, like I read in the newspapers. And when it's time for them to work, stop them from doing it. So let them do their work, do only your work, and consider my point. We have to investigate, because the investigation has brought up some facts that need thorough investigation. We need to protect the children, and for that, I require the help of some NGO called CRISP, which is based in Bangalore, which has for a goal to protect the kids, to protect the children. Okay, it's not about me; it's about my children. Okay, they are far away from their country. They have no access to a French school anymore, and their culture, their behavior, their knowledge is being tampered, is being played with. So my main goal here is not to talk about the rape case, which is subjudice. We have to protect the children very fast before anything else happens, because then who will be responsible?
Oh, absolutely.
The society should ask the question.
Oh, absolutely. Because the safety and security of those kids is indeed the first priority. Your wife alleges that she's short of money, Mr. Mazurier. She says that you've changed the access code to her French and Indian accounts, and that she's surviving on only 12,000 rupees. She's complained to the French consulate, saying that, you know, you're starving her of money and she's not able to survive.
The list of false allegations is very long, sir, and we need 2 hours if you go if you want to go through that. Please focus on the main thing here. We need help to protect these children and catch the predator who's on the loose and who could again harm my children, again harm any child in this city, and then it will be the hot potato. Who will be responsible for it? So please create the conditions so that the institutions can work properly. Let them work and be patient. The truth will come out.
You know, before I end this interview, Mr. Mazurier, just so that our viewers have fully understood what you're saying, and I want to quote from the letter you wrote to the Bangalore police. You're saying that you are not guilty of raping your daughter, that there is another male who had access to your daughter in your absence, and you believe that this predator is out on the loose and that the Bangalore police should go out and get him. That's essentially what you're telling our viewers today.
Yeah, that's what I told, yes.
What is it that you're asking now the people of Bangalore to believe? Because this is a case they've tracked very, very closely over the last several months, and they've wondered, you know, where was the truth really? What would you like the people to believe, and what would you like the Bangalore police to do, sir?
I would like the people to believe in their institutions and let the police work. That's all. It's plain and simple. It's subjudice. Let the process go on, and the truth will come out. Why be so impatient? Is my story so important for these people in their life? They don't have anything else to do. Come on, let the police do their work.
And if Suja Jones were watching this broadcast, what would you like to tell her, sir?
Frankly speaking, I don't know.
You know, I know this is very difficult for you, Mr. Mazurier. Could you just share with our viewers the personal side of this trauma? You know, they've seen the letters, they've seen the complaints, the counter complaints. As a human being, as a father, how difficult have the last 4 months been for you?
Due to these false allegations, the father is actually being destroyed, and the children, by ricochet, are being destroyed. They don't know where their father is, and they perfectly know I'm innocent. You know, and what is this? What is this? They are being taken hostage. Are we thinking about the children here?
Have you had an opportunity to speak to them ever since you came out of jail on bail? Would you like to speak to them? Would you like an opportunity to meet them?
With my 3 children, no, sir, the last time I could interact with my 3 children, it was on the 14th of June, in the morning for breakfast. And since I could not even say bye, I could not explain. And one day, because of the internet, because of the news, I will have to explain to my children what happened, why I had to go to jail, why I've been falsely accused, and why this story. I will have to explain. So please help me get the truth out.
We are very, very keen and anxious on getting the truth out. That is very important to us, Mr. Mazurier. And I must say that we don't want to sit in on judgment one way or the other. It is important, as you say, for the judiciary to do its job, for the truth to come out. It was equally important for you to have your say, because so far people have heard from Suja Jones, they've heard from a lawyer. You'd been silent, and we really appreciate you coming out and speaking so that people hear at least both sides of the story. There's one final question I'd like to ask you, sir. You know, you say that you had a cordial conversation with your wife on the 13th. She didn't say anything, and suddenly she went out and registered this complaint. So what is it that changed between the cordial conversation and the complaint of alleged rape?
You should ask her. I've been completely taken by surprise. For me, the sky has fallen on my head, you know. So I don't have the answers for her behavior, sir. I'm sorry for that.
Okay, and you know, I'm going to leave it over there, Mr. Pascal Mazurier. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for speaking to us. I hope that the faith that you have in the police and the judiciary is not belied, and that the truth, whatever it may be, ultimately emerges and people know whether those charges which were leveled against you are true or not. Pascal Mazurier, for joining us from Bangalore for your first television interview. I'm certain this would have been very, very difficult for you, for having the courage to speak out. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.